We use energy to do work, and typically, if you're a person that is active, you need about 12 megajoules of energy per day. I put that in perspective with the mobility things just below that. To walk, 0.25 megajoules. So if you want to walk 100 kilometers, you need 25 megajoules of energy. To cycle, 0.11, 11 for 100 kilometers, and much less if you have an electric bicycle. Because the electric motor and the system that powers the electric bicycle is much more efficient than your body in converting the energy to work. Currently, most of you in the room has a petrol car. And there you can see it consumes about 6 times more energy than a similar electric car. And you can see it's rather skewed. A lot of energy in cities are being used for moving people and things. Too much. That's costing you. If you produce things and the cost of moving them is that much, think about your competitiveness in the market. Think about the drain on the GDP. And if you look at cities, you can see Houston is very sprawled, Hong Kong is dense, and therefore the energy used for transportation in Hong Kong is much less. And the same graph here, individual cars compared to public transport. That's really what it is. You've got to get out of your car into public transport. And let me just qualify this. I'm talking about the commuting exercise, urban, city-centered transportation. I'm not talking about the whole long-distance transportation, all these sort of things. The focus here is on commuting, all right? Your commuting car shouldn't be what you're using now. This is what I know more about. This is the tool that we use for our commute. And if you look at this, the energy that goes into your tank mostly goes to creating heat, 63% to 64% heat, and only the bottom here, between 14, say 15% of that energy goes to creating kilometers. That's what this tool must do. That's the purpose of this tool. Would you say that this tool works well, gives you pleasure? You like this tool. I mean, you only use this tool about 5% of its life. You drive to work, you leave it in the parking area outside your office, and then you work, and then you take it home, you leave it outside the house. No, you've built a house for this thing. And you lock it up at night. You like it so much. We have a love relationship with this thing, even if it doesn't work for us. Look at these value chains. Sorry, it's not a value chain, it's a chain of destruction. Oil through this chain, burnt in the car, only 15% of the energy is left. So they've destroyed 80% of the energy inside the oil. Coal, like we do in South Africa, Secunda, 93% of the energy is wasted in this process. Massive loss. If you change that car to electric and you still use coal, 24%, but that is still not a passing figure. It's not a pass rate. Although we are approaching that sort of pass rate in South Africa, we've got to be careful that we don't end up there. So this 71% using renewable energy to power your mobility is a pass rate. That's where you should be going. And it's possible. I'll show you. So what is an electric car? And you can see various varieties here. The one that is electric motor, inverter, and a battery, that's a pure electric car. That's the one I drive, Nissan Leaf. It's outside. Can reach here from Midrand, no problem. I had to do a bit of planning because I got to get back to the airport now when I leave here, and I don't want to charge on the way there because I need to catch a plane, don't have time. But then you have hybrid vehicles as well, which is a bit of a waste of money because now you have 2 drivetrains and 2 different types of hybrid vehicles. I don't like them too much, so I'm not going to say too much about them. But that helps people to get over this range anxiety that they might have, saying the car can't go far enough and these sort of things. And maybe I'm not used to the electric. I want to have some noise in my ears as well while I'm driving. Because the electric car is quiet. You don't hear anything. And this is a BMW without its clothes, naked. You can see the battery sits in the floor pan of the vehicle. And those of you who understand, but there are many engineers here, understand that. That's very nice. You have center of gravity in the middle of the car. You can drive very nicely, corner nicely, and all these sort of things. Gives you a very nice experience when driving. And you can see the engine, the electric motor is on the back axle. You don't need a big engine compartment anymore. So in the Tesla, it's got still a hood. You put your luggage there. You don't need that for an engine. And this is what we've done in South Africa. When I was at Eskom, we converted this vehicle together with Nissan to be electric game viewing vehicle. There are other people in South Africa that wanted to build a car. Now, South Africa is not known as a car building country. You will struggle to sell a Joule next to a Mercedes-Benz, next to a Volkswagen, next to a Nissan in Europe, because that's what they were targeting. We should look, if we manufacture things like this in South Africa, look at utility vehicles, vehicles that can populate niche markets. And this is a very nice niche market because this is a conservation area. Why do you want to pollute the air there? Why do you want to make noise there? People want to lean on the vehicle when they take the videos of the animals. You don't need a vibrating vehicle. You can't switch off the vehicle in the Kruger Park for safety reasons. But when you take your foot off the accelerator of an electric car, it's quiet. Nothing moves. But when you put it down, it accelerates immediately because you don't have to switch it off. It's still on. So let me take you through the calculation. If I want to travel 80 kilometers per day, that's 40 to work and 40 back because I want to cover almost 95% of all people. Then I need about 4 kilowatt hours for the driving. I need 5 kilowatt hour installation because things go lost with charging the batteries through the inverter, all these sort of things. And that's about 5 200 watt panels. That's 10 square meters that I need. That's the size of the carport for this right-sized car. And the PV cells with battery will cost me 50,000 rands in South Africa today. And you can also use this to power your home when Eskom fails you. Or if you want to fail Eskom and not pay them electricity anymore, you can just add a little bit more and you can be on your own, independent. So there is a better way to achieve sustainability. If we embrace renewable energy, soon there will be surplus cheap electricity because your installation typically is bigger than what you need. When your batteries are full, you're going to be pumping energy into the grid. More and more people are going to pick it up. We can balance it with bigger energy storage and electric vehicles and these sort of things. So there's going to be energy available for surplus. So energy prices are going to come down. And I showed you how low cost mobility can be, and it'll be connected. You can even have the situation where you can have this overhead system in your city, and because the cost is so low, it can be free for your citizens. They can have a citizen card that identifies them, and they get onto the system, drive distances from one part of the city to the other part of the city for free. So you can really say your city moves you. Wouldn't that be a nice slogan? And then there are more new things that we haven't thought about. But talking to people, they will find this and they will make it happen. They will develop these concepts. We need to involve the people because they know what their needs are. So new entrepreneurial thinking, we need to train more and more entrepreneurs because entrepreneurs are the ones that provide the jobs. And that brings new economic development. Somebody said it earlier, with these changes that we face, with the bad disruptions, there are always opportunities. We need to focus on the opportunities and forget about those things and fight the things that are maybe bad and uncomfortable and try and identify the opportunities and the things that create our new future for us. And let us shape that future. Let the future not shape us. That's really what I'm saying. Thank you.